lot of changes are happening in the area of evaluation. And these changes are inevitable, and from time to time we are bringing so many changes. Sometimes based on the recommendations of these committees and the commissions. Sometimes based on the recommendations of these the policies. So we are as a part of the implementation of the policy we are doing. Now let us see. Just I'll begin my presentation. I hope it is maybe visible to you.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and just I would like to begin this. I don't want to start about the pre-independent period, and particularly some of the changes that is happening from time to time after this implementation of this the different policies. Particularly, I would like to begin from this the Kothari Commission, during this post-independent period. The 1968 policy is the major policy, and so the major policy as recommendations I am not focusing. I am focusing only issues related to this, the assessment and the evaluation. A major goal of the examination reform should be improve the reliability and validity of examinations and to make the evaluation as a continuous process, aimed at helping the students to improve his or her level of this achievement rather than certifying the quality of his performance at the given moment time. So for this the 68 policy, it is emphasizing on particularly this what are the approaches that is required for improving this reliability and the validity of this the examinations that we used to conduct during that period. Probably most of the examinations are annual based examinations. And this evaluation should be this the continuous process. Now, at least because of this introducing the CBCS and higher education and continuous comprehensive evaluation implementation at the school level, this the evaluation has become a continuous process. And with the continuous evaluation aiming to help the student to improve these levels of achievement. That is what it is focused in this 1968 policy. After 68, we had a second policy during this after the post-independent period is the National Policy on Education 1986, which we consider it is a very comprehensive policy and which was implemented till now to this the year 2000. This the suggestion for elimination of the excessive element of chance and the subjectivity. Here it is focused on elimination of this the chance factors, because the maybe guessing and other things as far as possible we have to minimize, and subjectivity also. And by improving this the ways and means of minimizing the subjectivity is the focus. And introduction of this continuous comprehension, again it is reiterated whatever that says in 1968 policy. Same thing is here also. This the continuous comprehensive evaluation should continue, and it is implemented also. And grading system, and the grading system, I think the only grading system came into existence after this the recommendations of the 1986 policy. And semester system, it is suggested to implement the semester system from the secondary level, which was not taken into this the national aspect. It is not come to. And from these two post-independent policies, from time to time, for implementation of this, the translating this, the recommendations of these committees in between, some committees also came. I think all of you are aware about this, the different committees and commissions. One of the committee related to the teachers, that is, the Chattopadhyay committee, and the other committees like Ishwarabai Patel committee and other committee recommendations also came into existence. Keeping in view of that, the recommendations from time to time, this, the curriculum framework is prepared. And this curriculum framework, the first curriculum framework is prepared 1975, based on the 1968 policy. And now 1988 curriculum framework is based on the National Policy on Education 1986. And the subsequently the 2000 also again the curriculum is revised, and 2005 also it is revised. So these are the four curriculum frameworks that are came. The main the curriculum frameworks is to translate this the significant recommendations of the various committees and commissions and the policy documents for the implementation purpose in the area of teaching, learning, and assessment for the quality improvement of this the school education. This is the curriculum framework. All these curriculum frameworks are prepared by NCERT only, 1975, 1988, 2000, as well as the 2005. After that, based on this national policy and education, it's a national education NEP 2020, National Education Policy 2020. Again, the curriculum framework recently 2022 for the foundation level, it is prepared by NCERT. For the other levels of the stages of school education is also prepared in 2023. And they based on that, they now NCERT is concentrating on preparing the syllabus, and so subsequently they revise this. The textbooks also they prepare. So like that, this is the policy will go. And they from time to time, assessment from time to time is focusing on this, the oral testing, oral tests, and the written tests, public examination, internal and external assessment, continuous and comprehensive evaluation, and competency-based assessment. So these are this, from time to time, all these, the different areas of assessment is focusing on. And some of these, the significant changes that we have noticed from time to time from the implementation of this, the different committees and commissions. One is the use of this, the question paper formats, and the proper design and proper blueprint. Even this, some state governments also, as a part of the textbooks, they are giving a small blueprint which covers the how this, the expected outcome is to be measured. What is the coverage that they have to do? They have to consider from each of the unit in that particular book is given in some states, not all the states. So use of the various forms of this, the questions, and there is a need to use this, different forms of the questions. We know that the essay type questions, subjectivity, the chance of subjectivity is more, and objectivity. Objective type items, no scope for this subjectivity. And so this kind of the various forms of the questions, and introduction of the multiple choice questions is also one of this the significant thing that we can notice. And the earlier it was only this the school level. Now even in the higher education also they are introducing. And there is this almost this subjectivity scope is very less. And objective-based question, the Bloom's taxonomy, and the taxonomy is different levels of this, the different domains of learning, and on each domain there is a hierarchical levels, and the how these hierarchical levels can be measured, and based on this, the assessment, and those kind of things also is there. That's known as the objective-based questions, and centralized spot valuation, like there was they used to give. Still, I remember 1996 when I joined here. By Mysore University used to send the papers valuation to that our residence place where we are staying. Maybe we can comfortably complete the evaluation by sitting in an office or by sitting in a residence. So now it is changed. It is a centralized, and we have to go to the centralized place, and we have to do that. And the grading system. And the grading system, because they have noticed unhealthy competitions. I think all of you know that because of this the non-grading system, like the marks you can use, you can see the lot of variations, like the distinction 74.5 is only giving this first class, 75% who is getting the 75 is getting this, the distinction. And similarly, 59.5 is second class and 60 is the first class. Like, the 49.5 is this, the first division or third division, and the 50% is the second class. Like that, this kind of, the lot of variations. To minimize this, the variations, the grading system as came into existence. And grading system, we are having two types of grading. One is absolute grading and another one is the relative grading. So absolute grading is the fixed one, and that's based on the fixed range only, whatever the marks obtained. So accordingly, the marks are converted into the grades. But in the relative grading, depending upon this, the number of students who have appeared. Maybe.
Sonakshi,
Yeah, excuse me, anything you want to ask? Yeah. Like, this in the relative grading, so that, the grading intervals, that is in the lower limit of this, and the upper limit of each grade will vary depending upon this, the candidates, depending upon this, the scores which they have obtained. That is a relative grade. And, the semester system came into existence, and the semester system is introduced in most of the places, providing of answer script on demand. Earlier, there was, I remember 1986, I think, the Professor Silvidas was the Vice Chancellor of University of Mysore. One of this, the student, this, the B.Ed program. So she wanted this, she got the failed marks. The reasons we don't know, but they got the failed marks. And, she wanted to know this, reasons for her failure. And this university is not allowing at that time, she approached the Vice Chancellor. Vice Chancellor has taken a lot of initiative to convince the university, senate and syndicate members to provide. Now this, the almost all the universities are, and the boards also, state boards also providing the answer script on demand. If they wanted to see their paper, and what are these errors that they have committed, or maybe where some kind of injustice, if it is happened, that also they can verify and they can see. For that purpose, answer scripts on demand is provided in most of the places. And school-based assessment. Now this, the earlier school-based assessment in 2003 and 2004, it is NCERT experimented, and it is given to this, the CBSE for implementation. At the time, this school-based assessment is experimented because they wanted to see that the implement this, the evaluation continuous process. And the CBSE has taken with a little modifications, and they have implemented. I think all of you are familiar with what is that, FA1, FA2, FA3, FA4, SA1, SA2, right? This, the FA means formative assessment, and the SA means summative assessment. And by using these nomenclatures, because they were more worried about this, how to respond to this, the people, particularly those who approach this, some kind of injustice happened, and those kind of queries if they wanted to respond. That is why they need some kind of evidence, and that's why they have given the much emphasis. At least some documentation purpose. We can have after completion of this interval, we can go for the summative assessment, another summative assessment after interval. Like that, these 4 summative assessments, such formative assessment. I'm sorry, formative assessments, and similarly, there's no summative assessments. And the that is the school-based assessment that is experimented even in Mysore also. In Kendriya Vidyalaya at the time, only Siddhartha Nagar was only one KV, and RI Mysore school that is known as a DM school, both the places. So this is the some changes which we have noticed from. I have not come this, the listed all the changes, some of the changes which may be relevant for our discussion. This, the national policy 2020, and this particular policy, this implemented after 86. So 86 to 2020, almost after 34 years of implementation of national policy on education, 1986. So the government decided. Prefix to that, number of consultations are conducted across the country by different institutions, different organizations, different social groups, and the policy recommendations also widely discussed, and now came for the implementation. Now, let us, I'm not talking the entire policy, just some of the areas related to, the assessment only I'm discussing with you here. See, new education policy implemented by the Union Cabinet with an aim of educate, encourage, and enlighten, and emphasis on transforming the assessment for optimizing learning and the development of all students. So the concern is each and every student is the concern and their development. And for that purpose, we have to do this, the assessment and also optimizing this, the improving the learning. So this, it has NEP 2020. There are some aims related to this, the assessment. One is, the assessment should be regular and it should be formative and competency based. Earlier, we are all the teacher educators, this, the outcome based learning. This, we are trying to get this, the evidences for this, the outcome. And, the outcome is the criteria. Focus is on this, the outcome. So this outcome is only we are focusing. And, as a part of that, the minimum levels of learning was implemented. And the content of the different school subjects up to this, the elementary level, they have translated into the competencies. Each competency is identified with a specific number. Under the area, each area, they have given under this each area of the subject, they have given this, the competencies. And, the assessment is focused more on the how this assessment can be assessed. That is why at the time this what is that, the criteria reference testing has become a prominent, and using this criteria reference testing basis, and they have identified the masters and the non-masters, and the focus should be given to this, the masters, and every student has to become a master in this, once they attain the competency, and whatever the way in which you can assess this, competency, attainment of the competency, they should respond. So keeping that in mind, and this, the competency-based assessment was started there. Now, from time to time, some changes using the term minimum was some kind of the thing. That is why now the learning outcomes 2017 government, the NCERT published this, the learning outcomes. This, what is this, the student is supposed to attain after completion of a particular class, particular level of learning. So that is why in different subjects and different areas, different levels, they have given this, the learning outcomes. So the assessment has become a focus on assessing this, the learning outcomes. So that's the outcome-based learning. And that when it started in school education, that is extended even to the higher education. I think probably based on this, the NEP implementation, the UGC also already circulated to almost all the universities about this, the implementation of this outcome-based learning, and curriculum also is prepared, and they have conducted some kind of the support also to the teachers who are working in higher education to convert there. So what they are doing, they are preparing this, the graduate attributes for each program. They prepare this, what is the expected the graduate attributes, that's after completion of the program. What is that, the graduate attributes they have to attain, and for the program they expected some of these outcomes. There's a programming learning outcomes. Under this program, there are different courses, and each course, the course learning outcomes, like the program learning outcomes and the course learning outcomes. So program learning outcomes and this, the course learning outcomes. So you have to map which course learning outcomes are helping to attain the which program learning outcomes, and in turn it is linked with this, the what is this, the graduate attributes. So that kind of suggestions are given, and some universities already started the process of revising their university or higher education institutions curriculum. Even in this, the teacher education also, some places they are just adapting, and the existing curriculum itself, how it is possible to convert into this outcome-based learning they are doing. Right, the focus on assessment for learning, and assessment of learning and assessment for learning, all these the terminologies, all of you are familiar. And the focus is on assessment for learning, assessment as learning, assessment of learning. And here the focus on assessment for learning. Here, it is assessment for learning enables the teachers to use the information about the students, and the students information, knowledge, understanding about students' knowledge, understanding, and skills. So what is their attainment? What is their level of understanding? Level of this, the acquisition of this, the basic, the knowledge in the area of the subject, and this, the how they are performing this, how they are using, exhibiting their skills of this related to the subject. And assessment as learning, and it is a focus on this, the self-assessment, and teacher feedback to this, the reflect to their own learning, this, the reflective, adopting the reflective practices, and the assess the teachers to use this, evidence of this, the learning, assess the students again with the learning. That is assessment of learning. So these are the three areas. But the NEP focuses on assessment for learning. So there's a test, higher order skills, which focus on the thoughts. I may be knowing higher order thinking skills. So this, the testing and this, the attainment, all this, the procedures, the pedagogical practices that we have to adapt to make everyone as a master in the different higher order thinking skills. So it is a higher order skills includes in analysis, critical thinking, conceptual clarity, help the entire school system in revising, sorry, not revisiting. So they help the entire school system in revising continuously teaching learning process to optimize this learning. So that is what the NEP 2020 aims. And some of these changes that you can just see based on this, the implementation. This is a you can also get this presentation from what is this, the MHRD. This is not MHRD. Education.nic.in website. I'll give the details at the end, right? A quick glance of this key changes at the school level. That report cards will include self, peer, and the teacher assessment. This the whatever this report card that is going to be provided to the students. We call it as a progress card. That progress card includes this the self assessment. And that means the teachers school is providing the opportunity to go for the self-assessment. And for that purpose, they use some rubrics and the peer assessment, how to assess the peer member, and the assessment by the teacher. And then all these three assessments are going to be there as a part of this report cards. And freedom of choice. This the choosing the subjects of their own interest. They can there is a till now we don't have this the till implementation of NEP, not now, implementation of NEP, there is no choice of the subjects. Up to class 10, it is a compulsory, all the students have to study all the subjects. That is a 3 language subjects. If it is a state policy, is the implementation of 3 adopting the implementation of the 3 language formula, or 2 languages, or 3 non-language subjects. So this is a the thing that is going, this at present. But now this NEP implementation, now you can also go and see in this CBSE website, and they have given this what is this the choices of the subjects for them. What are the core areas? What are the areas that they can choose as an options? So it's, that kind of freedom is given. Earlier it was not there. So freedom of choosing the subjects. And regional language up to class 5. So it's a mandatory to introduce. I think Karnataka can say that these are the first to introduce this, making this the Kannada as a language up to class 5, based on this recommendation of the Raja Ram committee. And this the extension of RTE Act to cover the children of ages 3 to 18. Earlier, this the Right to Education Act was covering only class 1 to class 7 or 8. Only that. Now it is extended for all this, from that's preschool. That is from the age 3 to age 18 up to the +2. It is included. And in the school structure also, at present we are having common education system, which is recommended by Kothari committee. 10 plus 2 plus 3 system. Now it is restructured as 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4. So the first 5 years is known as this, the foundation level. Next plus 3 is the preparatory, and next 3 middle, and last 4 is the secondary. Secondary and senior secondary put together, and so there is the school structure. And the board examination kept in low state and redesigned. And so we should not give much importance to that, the board examinations. So I think there is a suggestion to make this the board examination as an option to the students. So maybe some boards maybe is doing that. No, not all the boards. Some of this, the changes that we have noticed that the duration of this, the general academic degree is increased from 3 to 4 years, either 3 years or the 4 years, and with an option for this multiple entry and the multiple exit. And this there was a still in confusion for the implementation people that the exit and entry facility for the professional programs. Maybe for example medicine course, and after 1 year of studying 1 year human anatomy, and they will take a break, and after 3-4 years if they are coming back, so will they retain? Similarly, skill-based subjects also, whether they acquire that particular skills, including the teacher education, right? There was a discussions and the debates, and the national mission for mentoring will be established with already this particular process started, and yeah, Lok Vidya will be made assess the students through this, the integration into vocational education courses. And there should not be now what is this? Academic streams are different, vocational streams are different. And within academic streams, a science stream, humanities stream, this kind of a categorization is there. But the policy says that there should not be any difference between the academic and the, so both should go together. So that that's kind of the blending that now it can be made accessible to the students, which kind of courses can be integrated, which subjects, those kind of things are this kind. So establishment of the academic bank of credit ABC is already set up by the government. So the definition of the university will now range from research initiative, that is in higher education, that the universities to the teaching, like that various changes are anticipated. And the reforms with regard to this, the examination reforms, public examination reforms. So NEP 2020 said, the board examination will be redesigned to encourage the holistic development. This, the holistic development is the focus. And the 10th and the 12th class, that is a terminal stage of this, secondary and senior secondary. Board examination be made easier, and as far as possible we have to make it easy to access to them, and discourage content memorization and focus more on testing core capacities, and then discourage this the memorization. And every committee also suggested that they should not give opportunity for this the memorization. Focus more on test the core capacities. Boards could become the modular twice a year, yearly 2 times. Even when they introduce the semester pattern, they have to introduce. Already CBSE is doing that. Questions paper may be in 2 parts. One is the objective part, another one is the descriptive part. This also some states are implementing, some states are yet to take. No rigid separation between arts and science class streams. There should not be any difference. And consultation with the SCRT, boards of assessment, National Assessment Center, NAC, it is also known as a PARAC. We'll discuss more about this, the PARAC. What is this holistic assessment, holistic progress report card? What is this? Holistic report card, it is reflect this, the progress and uniqueness of the learner in cognitive, affective, socio-emotional and psychomotor domains. In different domains of learning, what is, the reflect the progress and the uniqueness of this, the learner. What is this, that can be done, this, the self-assessment, and it will be and the this holistic assessment will be done by the three people. One is self, the individual concern, and for that purpose they provide some kind of rubrics for adopting this, the self-assessment procedure, and even for the peer assessment also, and the teacher assessment also. There's all three kinds of assessment will be there in this, the holistic progress report card, and it will form an important link between the home and school, and will be accompanied by parent-teacher meetings. Every parent-teachers meeting and this holistic progress report card provide a link between the home and the school. By every parents meeting, maybe monthly once, 2 months once, or 3 months once, whatever the periodicity they conduct the meetings, and in that particular meeting they have to discuss. It would be provide teachers and the parents with a valuable information on how to support each student in and out of this, the classroom, inside the classroom as well as outside the classroom, in both the places, how we can support. So it progress of the children's inquiry-based learning, like the conducting some kind of the quiz, role play, group work, portfolios, etc. And the holistic 360-degree multi-dimensional report, and the serves to identify this strength and areas of improvement of an individual, so as to facilitate a clear-cut action plan. So that's what the 360-degree multi-dimensional report. The report by the individual concern, that is a self-report, and peer assessment report and teacher assessment report. All these things together will provide some kind of an opportunity for the teachers to plan for this, their plan. And what is this holistic report card? And then redesigning of reports card, holistic, that 360-degree, to include self-assessment, peer assessment, and to reflect the progress of uniqueness of this, the student. Holistic progress card will actively engage this, the parents, because parents also will know about this, their wards, this, the academic benefits from time to time that they are getting, and also this, the teacher also will know. And so for this purpose, for setting this school standards, assessment standards, the government, the NEPA, suggested to create a national body is known as the national PARAK. That is, the PARAK full form. Performance assessment, review, analysis of knowledge for holistic development. That is this assessment is to be conducted regularly, and it is for that purpose they created a separate organization. It's already function at the national level. It is a part of NCERT, and there is one CEO who is heading the National Assessment Center, and she is looking after this, the PARAK. So this, the PARAK is coming with some kind of standards, norms are following for this assessment. So setting the norms, standards, and the guidelines for the assessment and evaluation. Yeah, guiding state achievement survey. This, the way this, the state achievement, the national level achievement surveys are conducting from regularly to know this, the progress of the students, and based on that, 2017 census-based achievement survey is conducted across the country in November 2017, and based on that, they, the NCERT prepared the state report cards and the district report cards, which is available, and so that that will indicate the district average ability, and this, there is a standard, and that you can use as a benchmark, and how you can improve the process of learning. So, like for that kind of a surveys, preparing their own what is the report cards, the PARAC is helping. And conducting the national achievement surveys also. So national level surveys are conducting. Monitoring learning outcomes in the country. So the learning outcomes complete with monitoring, encouraging and helping the school boards. So even it is providing continuous support to the school boards regarding this. And then the PISA, performance of international students achievement. PISA also maybe at present it is not given to this PARAC. It may come to them only. And this is a PARAC is a standard setting organization. It is a standard setting, and there's need a what is this? The accreditation framework. So the school NCRT and the concerned state authorities, SCRTs also should develop it together, and they have to develop this school quality assessment and accreditation framework, SQA. And so public-private schools be assessed and accredited on common criteria. And private philanthropic schools to be encouraged. Some organizations of philanthropic and CSR responsibility, corporate social responsibility. So they are doing some kind of the philanthropic organization, like Infosys Science Foundation is there, and what is the Agastya Foundation is there in Bangalore. So they are all providing some kind of support for promoting the science education. Similarly, there are professional associations also. The Mathematics Teachers Association and other things also is providing some kind of support, right? And that kind of the encouragement. This PARAC, the performance assessment, review, and analysis of knowledge for holistic development. So this the PARAC prepared this the holistic progress card, which is available in NCRT website. I'll just share that link also. You can also search. It's not a problem. You can also get for this the foundation level, preparatory level. It is the prepared, and it has a part A, part B, part C. So part A includes this general information. Then part A, second thing is about me. That is a self-assessment. My ambition card. I don't know what is this. The ambition card. This is also based on the self-assessment. And the another one is the parent. It's a parent-teacher relationship. And another one is the student's progress. The third part is holistic summary of academic year. Right, this holistic progress card provides a comprehensive, descriptive reporting system to access to this, the report of the students' progress and the performance with respect to the curricular goals and the competencies on each subject. So the competencies are there subject-wise. So assessment of that. Students' progresses across the abilities, like the awareness, sensitivity, and creativity. And these are the three abilities. And there are using these some kind of descriptors, performance descriptors. One descriptor is given. What is the beginner, proficient, and advanced. So under each one of these, they have to use this. This national testing agency is also government of India already created that, it is already functioning, conducting these various common examinations admission tests for some kind of recruitment tests and other things. So testing organization of this, it has some link with all the units of this higher education. So university common entrance exam, like CUCET is there, Central Universities Common Admission Test. Like the IIT's JEE examination, for medical admissions NEET examination. All these things are going to be coordinated by National Testing Agency. Yeah. So NEP 2020, it is the nurturance of talent. So this particularly this holistic report card is focusing more on this how we can use this nurturance of this the talents must be discovered, nurtured, fostered, and developed. How what are the approaches that is required for this purpose can be discussed. Appropriate students' interest and go beyond the school curriculum. So depending upon the student interest and going to beyond their curriculum. So NCERT and NCTA develop the guidelines for the education of the gifted children. The gifted children also need kind of support. So that's how to tackle with this the gifted students. It is any. So B.Ed program may allow a specialization in education of gifted children. So different these were specializations for this was only now some institutions related to that they are offering. So in addition to that, may come to other places also. Just 1 minute, can I take pass? Hello?
Yes, sir.
No.
Sure.
I'll be back just 2 minutes, madam, please.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah. This, the strategies for identifying the nurturance of this, the innate talents. We are having, the NCRT regularly conducting this, the NTSC examination to this, the opportunity to identify this, and there is a program also, nurturance program also NCRT is to conduct for the school children's for selected topics. And in the topic centered and this project based clubs, even in the institutions also is encouraged to form high quality national residential summer programs. I think probably some of you with mathematics background people may be knowing the National Board for Higher Mathematics is conducting this MTTS program every summer, particularly for this. There are 3 or 4 levels programs are there, and the O level and advanced level, and say like the graduate students who are studying in a second year and this first year and second year. There is one program. Third year and fourth year students are another level, and PG students another level. Like that, this mathematics. Similarly, even this, the Infosys Science Foundation is helping for the graduate students in physics in the PTTS program, Physics Talent and Training program. So they identify and they give some kind of support for encouraging their this, the talents. And the Olympiads and competitions various subjects, Maths Olympiad and Science Olympiad, like that, different Olympiads are there. I think recently we have seen in this, the WhatsApp groups, even the Statistics Olympiad also they conducted at the school level. Smart classroom and use of this digital pedagogy. So this is kind of the how they can use this thing. So this is nurturance of the tolerance. There are the implementation strategies, like the again preparation of this new assessment pattern. There is no formative assessment and the summative assessment. Formative assessment pattern, various varieties of assessment patterns, and summative assessment usually at the end of this. They may be some places trimester or what is this? The term 1 or term 2 at the end of the term. Capacity building of the teachers and the paper setters and the moderators, and so from time to time, in some places their NCRT is conducting some training programs, particularly for this, the paper setters who are identified by the boards, and they are actually basically teachers only, but identified for the supporting the board for and moderators also, and redesigning of the report card for school-based assessment, development of IT-based tracking system. That is some apps they wanted to develop, and using these apps, they the progress of the children are going to be. Technology will help a lot, definitely. This, the IT-based tracking system. Plan to reduce the burden of examinations. I think probably now during the COVID time, they have given a lot of alternative academic calendars prepared and implemented, and using that alternative academic calendar, state boards also adopted and reduced certain this, the subject, particularly to reduce the burden of the students. Rename of this, this one, the compartment examination as an improvement. Compartment after fail again, that can be renamed as this, the improvement examinations. So this is in a nutshell about this, the NEP related to this, the emphasize focusing on critical thinking, holistic development of the learner, and focusing on the competency-based assessment, and adopting inclusive approaches in learning, and moving towards this development of the assessment framework to evaluate deeper understanding of the learner, ability to create high this the ability to apply acquired knowledge in a different situations. What is the capability of this the learner to apply the knowledge in various situations? So these are all focused on. Now now the coming to this the assessment of the tools, the after NEP implementation, what should be assessed? Children's learning, performance, and progress, different subject areas. What is this the different subjects? What is this are our performance and the children's improvement. So different domains of this, children's personality development, which, cognitive domain, affective domain, and psychomotor domain of this, the domain of the learning. And from time to time, children's skills, interest, attitudes, and the motivation, and the children's response to different situations, and opportunities both in and out of the school. What are these? The opportunities are there, and then guidelines. Some of the guidelines are listed here, and these guidelines for formative assessment of the learner's performance. Formative assessment, normally the teacher is adapting in his own way in this, to assess the performance of the students regularly in the classroom. So analyze the content of the given unit of the theme and explore a range of this life-related opportunities and the resources locally, regionally, nationally, and globally. What are these? The opportunities that are available and resources that are available across local resources, because particularly local specific culture-related issues. So probably that is that need to be prepared at the local level. Similarly, regional level also, national level, the global level. Explore a range of stimulus material, that is the textbook, reference material, internet resources, and simulation opportunities, local and situation. So depending upon this local and the situation, some context also you have to prepare. So developing the concept maps for this, facilitating the learning. The concept map, how this, the using the different categories of the hierarchical relationship of concept, like the concept and the superordinate concept, subordinate concept, coordinate concept. So linking all this, the superordinate concepts with the subordinate concept and the coordinate concepts. So that is a kind of the concept map will help and guide this, the proper assessment procedure. So prepare the statements of the attainments or learning standards. This what are the learning standards, and this the performance standards. So that performance standards, like we call it as the learning outcomes. Now you can see that NEP. Just 1 minute. Sorry for the interruption. Yeah. Share the expected learning or the attainment and standards. Now we call it the learning outcomes. That this learning outcomes. What is this? The expected learning outcome, and so develop this. They organize the activities and the learning experiences. That is the different pedagogical approaches that we have to adopt for attainment of this. The learning outcomes. Set and negotiate assessment criteria. What is this? The assessment criteria that we have to set or we have to negotiate depending upon the situation, and the execute or the conduct the projects or the tasks, etc. Incorporate the self and the peer assessment. This locate and assess the level of the performance. These are the some of these the guidelines which need to be adopted for assessment of the learner's performance. And use the feedback and feed forward procedures. What is this feedback procedure? Feed forward procedure. Let learners keep a record of their progress. Maintain a record of the learner's progress in scholastic and post-scholastic. This is also NEP 2020 is emphasized that there should not be any distinction between the scholastic and the post-scholastic. Develop this, the portfolios. They have to develop this, the portfolios, keeping in view of the different intervals of the assessment, different types of the assessment, different, all those things keeping, and each learner's performance can be prepared in a kind of report by using the XRR portfolios, like, report learners' performance. Use the assessment outcomes to reflect into your instructional practices and procedures and improve upon them. And there are some procedures, the good assessment. How can you say it? Devise a clear learning objectives that indicate the subject mastery. That is the learning outcomes. What is this? The outcome, and the ensure the agreement between what is assessed, what is taught, and what is that we have given this. The learning activities are organized, and what is that? Whether these activities are relevant with the assessment. Employ the multiple assessment methods, not a single method. Multiple ways of assessment procedures need to be adopted. Teach students how to work on this assessment task. How we have to guide the students to how they have to concentrate on this assessment task. Engage, encourage, and support the students and their work. And the support this the students' work. Assess the process and the product of assess the process and the product of learning, and shift from content-based testing to problem solving and focusing on the analysis, evaluation, and application abilities. From shifting from this, the focus on analysis and evaluation and application abilities. What is their ability to apply in a life situations, various situations, real, and oral written tests, observations, and other methods of assessment need to be used depending upon the context. We have to use this, the oral test, written test, and observations also. Self-assessment can be made as a part of this, the report card. There is a provided already the holistic report card. Just we can see one holistic report card, and this just I will show you this, the holistic report card. And then will be just 1 minute. That is the implementation guidelines. There are 3 documents are available. One is this, just I am showing. This is for the foundation stage. And it has different parts, as I mentioned. One is the part A is the general information. And part A, second category is, me and my surroundings. It is a kind of, the self-assessment, because, and the physical development, the domain 1 is a physical development, because this foundation level we have to observe this, the the domain wise, this the what are these under each domain curricular goals are there, and this under each curricular goal, competencies are given, and what are the activities that are provided for each domain, it is listed. And assessment rubrics, these three: awareness and sensitivity, and so this kind of rubrics are provided. And this is the domain 2, is the socio-emotional development, and its curricular goals are there, and the competencies. And this is the awareness, sensitivity, and the creativity. All these things are to be observed. And when it comes to this, the preparatory and the middle stage, subject specific areas also provided the scope here. And here, this is the foundation level. The 3 domains of learning is important, and this assessment is given. So I think probably you can just look into that, and you can see more details about this, the holistic report card. So now this, we have a different tools and techniques that we usually use for this assessment purpose. Let me go back to this. This the self-assessment and the feedback. So the purpose is to appreciate the progress, opportunity for feedback, leading to the revision and improvement of the performance. Particularly, this the purpose of this self-assessment, because they know this rubrics. Okay, I am able to do only this much. I am able to get only this number, this particular points. So what is that I have to do for getting this the higher number of points? Like some kind of the self kind of the assessment, and the feedback also, peer assessment also will help. Like exercise both individual and collective can be designed to enable them to reflect on and assess their own learning experiences, leads to the self-regulatory habits essential for learning to learn. That is the thing, So this, the how this assessment, single assessment tool or the method is capable of providing the information about the child's progress in the learning in the different areas of development. That's why we have a different tools, like the observation is a tool, and assignments, projects, checklists, rating scales, attitude scales, all these different kind of techniques we usually use for the assessment of learning. I think I'll stop here. Just I'll share this presentation. I think other these tools and techniques I'm not going in detail, and I'll just the stop here for the discussion. I think your suggestions and maybe give some kind of new thinking about for me to get some more information, or maybe helps me to add something. Now it is open for the discussion.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah, good afternoon, madam.
Sir, till now you discussed about the sir, one nimsha. Sir, till now we discussed about the holistic approach for the young generation. Sir, when we see the last SLC results, we find that the boosting of marks like that we find. Particularly, one student was first got out. Later on, 25 students. In the next coming year, 125 students got out. Similarly, we find in degree colleges also. Are we satisfied such kind of assessment?
No, madam. Actually, that the
boosting of sir, theory says something else,
yeah.
And what we are doing is not following. So, what is the rule changes that we want to bring so that they have to adopt the same thing? So, what we think that should be done by the teachers?
Madam, actually, this holistic assessment or this, the 360-degree feedback, maybe some of the students are good in certain areas of assessment, maybe good in oral expressions, so good in writing, so good in doing performing some activity, maybe skill-based, performing the skill. So those kind of, the thing, that is why we want to give this, the multi-dimensional areas we have to consider. With that intention only the policy is proposed. Because ultimately, as you said, it is happening. I do agree with you, Shalini madam, that most of the places, this, the giving the liberally marks, that they are losing this, the importance of this, the assessment. And, maybe they are not getting some proper feedback also. Only they are also not getting this, the feeling that we have earned the marks, particularly this, the higher education institutions. It is happening even in this, some of the school education and teacher education institutions also. So that is, we have to, as a teachers, if we can think, if we can just see from the every policy, internally everything is this is maybe nomenclatures we may be changing, but from the beginning, if we can see from time to time, this continuous evaluation, which is suggested in the earlier policies also, it is continued. And even this, maybe we are changing. There's grading system only one is a change. Otherwise, the most of the places, the procedure wise, it is correct to the same thing only. But ultimately, it's only the teachers' responsibility to take more serious, particularly on this, the assessment. So it's probably that may be the reason that from time to time, this, we are not giving proper feedback to them, and properly they are not also getting this, where they are lacking, where they need improvement. Those kind of, the feedback we may definitely help them to improve their performance, particularly board examinations. So that, particularly this, the unhealthy competitions by some of the institutions. Particularly, I think recently Supreme Court said, you cannot give advertise that, our students, 90% of our students are secured. This, the 9.5 grade or something, that kind of advertisements they are giving. So probably that also maybe that kind of unhealthy competitions. Earlier, marks ranking they used to use for the advertisement. Now even this, the number of grades also. So those kind of unhealthy competitions may be the reasons for such kind of a boosting in the board examinations. Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Hello. Hello. Hello.
Excuse me, sir. Excuse me, sir.